Welcome to Made with Love by Daisy. In today's video, I will be showing you how to make this rosary. You will need the following items: 59 beads of your choice. I'm using 6mm beads, 59 eye pins, some chain, and lastly you will need a crucifix, a centerpiece of your choice, and 4 jump rings. You will also be needing pliers. So here I have with me wire cutters, this one is a flat nose plier, and lastly I have my round nose pliers. Let's get started. The first thing that I will be doing is I will cut the chain to size. In my rosary, I have used a 3-link chain between each of the Our Father and decades. So if you want your rosary to be longer, you can use 5 links or even 7 links. But I will be using 3 links. So if you want your link to be 3 links long, you want to cut the 4th link. So because I want to cut the 4th link, I'm going to hold it by the 5th link. So I'm going to grab onto the 5th link so that it will be easy for me to cut the 4th link, so that I will have a small piece of 3 links with me. So I have here the first link made up of 3 little links, and I'm going to show you again. So I'm going to count my links. So because I want my link to be 3 links long, I'm going to cut the 4th link, which means I want to hold on to the 5th link so that it will be easy for me to cut the 4th link. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the 4th link. So I'm going to pause the camera and go cut the remaining links off camera. You're going to need a total of 14 links for your project. Let me put that aside, and this because we don't need it immediately. So the first thing that we will be doing is add our beads to the eye pin and make a basic wire loop on the other side. So take your pearl or bead, insert it onto the eye loop. So to make a basic loop that is this size, you would need about 1/4 inch of wire. That is about so much. I'm going to go ahead and trim the excess. So take the wire cutters and trim the excess. Take your flat nose pliers now and place it next to the bead like this. Try to get it as close to the bead as possible. Now apply gentle pressure and make a 90-degree bend like this. Now take the round nose pliers, place the tip of the wire between the pliers and gently apply some pressure and turn your pliers. Keep turning it until the end of the wire is near the bead and it forms a round loop. So here we've made a very first basic loop. Once you've made your loop, you can straighten it a little bit. So here we have a very first bead which is completed and has 2 basic loops on each side. I will be showing you a couple more times before I go off camera to finish it. So take one bead, place it on your eye loop, and take your pliers and trim the excess. And with the flat nose pliers, grab onto one end of the eye loop. Let me show it to you in this direction. Apply some gentle pressure and bend it at 90 degrees. You don't want to go too far because you might crush the bead. So apply gentle pressure and make a 90-degree turn. Now we're ready for the next step. Let's take our round nose pliers and place the tip between the pliers. You want to make sure that there is no excess poking out on the other side. When you place your finger here, you shouldn't be able to feel the tip of the wire. If you can, you want to adjust it so that you cannot feel it. This will ensure that the loop we make is a perfect circle. Now apply gentle pressure and keep turning the pliers until you've completed the loop. So here's the second bead. I'm just going to straighten it a little bit. You will notice that the round nose pliers have a tapering tip. So you can place the wire at different places and make loops of different diameters. So if you place it towards the tip, you will get a smaller loop. And if you go towards the mouth, no, I don't think it's called mouth. What is it called? Okay, I really don't know what it's called. Okay, let's just say away from the tip. So yeah, so if you move away from the tip, the diameter of your loop is going to be bigger. So how do you know where to place your wire if you want a loop this size? So what I like to do is I place it onto the pliers, onto the round nose pliers, and see where the loop is resting. So if you want a loop that is this size, you need the wire to be resting at this place. So make note of where the loop rested. So let's first trim the excess. Let's get the wire cutter and trim the excess. And grab our flat nose pliers to make a 90-degree turn. Let's just check one more time. So when you place it there, that is where the loop is resting. So I know that if I want a loop of the same size on this side, I need to place my wire at this place. So now start turning very, very gently but firmly at the same time. till you have a complete loop. So there you go. So that is my trick to getting the same size loop every single time. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish all these beads off camera, and I will meet you after I've completed all 59 beads. So I have completed all 59 beads. The next step would be to join them together to form the decades. So take one of your beads. We're going to twist open one side. Twist it open, do not yank it open. And take another bead and add it on the open end. And close it and make sure it's secure. Now we've connected our first two beads. So let me show you one more time. So twist open one of the ends. You want to do this very gently, because if you use too much force, the loop might go out of shape. Now we've added the next bead and twist it close. So when you open these loops, you want to twist them open and close them like a jump rope. So let's go ahead and make a decade of 10 beads now. So I've completed my first decade over here, and you want to repeat this 4 more times. So I've completed my 5 decades, and as you can see, I've also made a chain of 3 beads for the 3 Hail Marys at the beginning of the rosary. Now if you've counted right, you will be left with 6 beads. These are going to be our Father beads. Now the next step is to attach the links to the Our Father beads. So you want to take one link and attach it on each side of the Our Father beads. So twist it open, add one link to one side, and close it back again. Now open the opposite side and do the same. So take another link and add it on the other end of the first bead and close it, making sure that it is completely closed. So this is what we want: one bead with a link on each side. You want to do this to all of the other beads too. So I finished it. All my Our Father beads are ready. You should be left with 2 links remaining. We'll be using that later. The next step would be to attach our decades to the Our Father beads. So first take the 3 Hail Marys and attach one Our Father bead on each side. So open one side of the 3 beads and add an Our Father bead. So connect the Our Father bead to it and close it. Now open the other end of the 3 Hail Marys. Open it and add another Our Father bead. ready to go. Now with the remaining 4 Our Father beads, we're going to connect them to 1 decade each. So take one of the decades, open one of the ends, and connect it to one of the Our Father beads. And secure it in place, making sure the loop is fully closed. So I'm going to go ahead and do this 3 more times. So now we have 1 decade without an Our Father bead, 4 decades with an Our Father bead, and 3 Hail Marys with 2 Our Father beads on either side. And we're ready for assembly. So the first thing we want to do is take the decade without an Our Father bead, open one of the ends, and add one of the links to it. So this is going to be our first decade. Now we're going to connect the first decade to the second decade. So open the last bead of the first decade. Connect it to the Our Father bead of the second decade. So after this it's very similar. So we're going to open the last bead of the second decade and connect it to the Our Father bead of the third decade. So every time you want to make sure that these loops are closed properly and that the beads do not fall loose. Now I'm opening my third decade, the last bead of the third decade, and connecting it to the Our Father bead of the fourth decade. And secure it by closing it properly. Open the last bead of the fourth decade and connect it to the Our Father bead of the fifth decade. And close it. So now you want to open the last bead of the fifth decade and add the last piece of link remaining. So add it to the last bead and close the loop. So now we have 5 decades separated by an Our Father bead between each of them. So we are now ready to go ahead for the final assembly. So take one of the ends of the decades and we're going to need a jump ring. So twist it open. You want to make sure you're not yanking it open. Grab one side with your flat nose plier and the other side with the round nose pliers. And gently just twist it open. You can even do this with your hand, but it depends on how soft or hard your jump ring is. So now add one of the ends of the decades onto the jump ring, and before you close it, take the centerpiece and add one of the top loops to the jump ring and close it. once you've closed it, you want to make sure that it's secure and try to move it around to make sure the link does not sneak out. Now make sure that your decades are not twisted, so just straighten them out a little bit. So if any of them are twisted, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but those beads were twisted right there. So if anything is twisted, just untwist it, make it all straight and lay flat. Once you're happy with how your rosary is laying, take the other end and a jump ring. So open it. I'm just going to go ahead and open it with my fingers. So add the other end of the decades to this jump ring. And before closing it, add the other unused top loop from the centerpiece and close it. Again, you want to make sure that the link does not slip out through the open edges. And just to make sure it's secure, I'm using my pliers. You want to add very little pressure, because if you add too much pressure, the jump ring might go out of shape. So here my decades are ready. So now we just need to attach the 3 Hail Marys to the main rosary. So open another jump ring and add the bottom loop of the centerpiece, and also add the 3 Hail Marys to it and close it. So every time you open and close these loops, you want to make sure that you're closing them properly. So let's take our last jump ring, add it to the first Our Father bead. Oh no, what am I doing? I almost forgot to add my crucifix. Yes, do not forget to add your crucifix, because you can't have a rosary without a crucifix. So add your crucifix, close the jump ring. You want to make sure it's secure.